In part one, we talked about some things to do daily to get yourself active and moving, and some super helpful stretches that can help with your circulation, aches and pains, and to reduce stress. Now I'm going to show you some bodyweight exercises that you can do at home. And I put these on a checklist along with a few other things for me to do every day that I don't make it to the gym. The idea of doing them daily is what keeps me doing them long term, and it's especially important for me as I'm in front of my computer most of the day, and it's one of the things that I do to avoid what's known as sitting disease. But I want you to go at your own pace, and that might mean just 10 lunges and 10 push-ups once or twice a day, a few days a week, and a couple of days of walking for 15 minutes. But make a goal and commitment to doing that and increase it when you're ready. We're going for sustainability here. And when you feel good about this, then you can begin a workout program regularly that works for you. And there are a lot of videos in my bigger seminars, like the instruction manual for the human body seminar, that can help you there. Also, I don't just do these at home. I have a few corporate clients as an example, and if I'm early, I might do one or two of these in the lobby while I'm waiting, like a horse stance against the wall or a stretch. Yes, there are some people that you might find staring, but I can tell you it's less of a look of what is this guy crazy, like you might think, and more of a, oh, I need to do that too. But even if it is, oh, what is this guy or girl crazy, it's important to know that over 90% of people are either overweight, anxious, unhealthy, depressed, and have low muscle mass. So if they're looking at you like you're crazy, then you're probably doing something right. Find out what everyone else is doing and do the opposite, right? Just as long as it's not hurting anyone and you're not doing it to show that you're better than anyone. Now I'm going to put a black space between each exercise like this so that you can skip to the ones you like. First one is air squats. Start standing with your feet wider than a hip width apart. Toes are pointed slightly out. And clasp your hands at your chest or use them for balance. Send your hips back and bend your knees to lower down as far as possible. Do this with your chest lifted and press through your heels to get back up to the starting position. Do about 10 or 15 reps of these or until your legs feel tired. Most important is not to put pressure on your knees and ankles, and don't let your knees go beyond your toes. And do this on your heels, not on your toes. Your chest is up, and it can be helpful looking up at the ceiling while you do it, or at least a high point on the wall. You can modify this to be harder with jumping squats, or hold something to help yourself up to make it easier. I often start jumping and then go to flat, and then use something to assist me to get my last reps out so I can really burn out my muscles. Now I always like to start with legs as they encompass half your body and produce most of the testosterone that will benefit all of your muscles by moving your legs. Next is lunges. Start by standing with your feet hip width apart and step forward with your right foot, bending both your knees to 90 degrees. Once again, no knee past the toes. Now you're going to drive through your planted heel to stand before stepping into the other foot forward and dropping into a lunge for that side. Continue making sure your back knee hovers just above the floor. It's a good idea to put a towel down to protect your knee here. Try this for 10 or 15 reps each side until you fatigue out. It's a good idea to take a screenshot or a photo of your computer screen of each of the exercises that you want to do to remind you of those, or to have them all lined up so that you can do a rotation throughout your week. You can modify this to jumping or what's known as plyo lunges, or supported lunges holding onto your dresser or something like that to make it easier. Remember to set goals. If you did 20 squats today, try to do 25 next week and so on. And don't stall waiting for the perfect time to work out. These are designed to do them at any time all throughout your day, so just jump in. Next is a modified horse stance. Just lean against the wall with your back straight. Make your knees and your hips both at a 90-degree angle. And as you get tired, move up the wall to a lesser angle. Be sure the posture of your neck and back are straight. Now you can stretch your upper body while doing this, and I often read or do something to distract myself so that I can go longer on this one. But when I do this, my spine and neck are erect, not looking down. And engage your glutes as well as your thighs. Now, as you start to feel more and more comfortable with exercise, I want you to change your mindset from burning fat to building muscle. In other words, instead of counting how much time you're doing this or how many calories you're burning as an example, to how hard your muscles are impacted after the exercise. As an example, did you max out and go to failure plus? Or did you feel that you can't stand after completion of a leg exercise? Or does your chest feel sore the next day after a few rounds of push-ups? Because building muscle will help you to burn fat even when you're not working out. So if we both are walking to catch the bus and you have more muscle than I do, you're going to burn more fat, and exercise like this will help you to do that. Next is a single leg bridge. Lie face up, knees bent with your feet planted, arms down by your side on the floor. Lift your right leg up towards the ceiling so that both knees are aligned. Engage your glutes as you lift your hip up, driving through the heel. Lower your back to the floor and then repeat for 10 to 15 reps. Then switch sides. Then move to double leg bridge, or if those are too hard for you, you can start with double leg. It's the same thing with both feet planted on the floor, driving through your heels, squeezing the glutes and sending your hips up towards the ceiling. And you can modify this to make it harder with a shoulder bridge. And here your body should form a straight line from your shoulders to your knees. Lower your back down and repeat this for 10 or 15 reps. Next is push-ups. Start in high plank position, shoulders over your wrists. Core, glutes, and legs are all engaged. Bend the elbow to lower your chest to the floor. Elbow should point back at a 45-degree angle. Then push back up to starting position. Make sure to keep your hips in line with the rest of your body. If you can't push up without dipping your hips or your chest to the floor, drop your knees to build strength. Do this for at least 10 to 15 reps. Don't do a worm where you lift the upper part of your body and then followed by the lower part. Head is straight and remember midsection tight. You can modify this as a push-up against the wall or a doorway. I like to do this when I'm walking in a park against a tree or when I'm standing around waiting for something like the subway. The farther back you go, the harder it is. The closer your feet are to the wall, the easier. I do this with a straight back and relaxed ankles, using them as a hinge as opposed to being up close to my toes. Another modification is the dive bomber push-up to work your shoulders, chest, and triceps. And last modification, as mentioned, is to put your knees down. I often like to do as many push-ups as I can and then put my knees down to max out for more reps. Next is a tricep dip. Sit down in front of a chair or your sofa or a bench or a box and put your feet planted on the floor. Place your hands behind you on the edge of the seat or the sofa and lift up to the seat and make your elbows straight. Then bend your elbows to lower your butt down to the floor. Push back up and repeat for 10 or 15 reps. You can modify this to make it harder by putting your feet up on a coffee table or a bed. Or bringing your feet closer to you to make it easier. Next is pull-ups. We start this with a bar, and I'm going to show you how to modify it if you don't have the bar, or you can't do a pull-up. Start with your shoulders back and your chest open and aim for your belly button, and you'll get to your chest that way. Forget your chin, trying to get your chin over the bar. This encourages poor technique. Allow your shoulders to go all the way down, but don't disengage your shoulders like this. This is bad for your shoulders in a vulnerable position. Keep your shoulders engaged by keeping your biceps a little bit away from your ears. This will allow full extension without disengaging them. When doing pull-ups, it's best to engage your legs and your core. So point your feet forward, straighten your knees, and engage your quads, and engage your stomach, and remember to pull to your chest, aiming for your belly button, never your chin. And have an open chest at the top, not caved in. And elbows are in front of your body, not in the same plane as your shoulders. Now there are a few ways to modify this. One is with jumping pull-ups. Now this might look silly, but even the best at pull-ups will gain from doing this just after they do their max reps. I like to do as many pull-ups as I can and then do these. Another modification is a chair assist. You can put your toes on the chair, allowing your legs to go past the chair almost to the floor, then help you back up. The last modification is doing this under the table. Pull yourself up, bringing your chest to the table. Another way to work your back muscles here is by doing this with your feet extended beneath you. And you can modify this harder with your feet on a chair. Another modification for this is doing it in a doorway to make it easier. Next is a shoulder workout. Put your hands on the floor in a downward dog stance and do the first part of a pike push-up. You can modify this to make it easier by kneeling on a chair or even on the floor. You can modify it to make it harder by standing on the chair or on your sofa. Next is the plank march. Start in high plank position with your arms straight, wrists directly above your shoulders, body forming a straight line from your head to your heels. Bend your right elbow to lower your right forearm to the floor. Then lower your left forearm to the floor. Then extend the right arm, and then extend the left arm to return to starting position. Continue to repeat, alternating which arm you start with each time. Next is abs and core, and we'll start with simple sit-ups, and this can be modified with V's. Just find your comfortable position and fold your body upward. These are done by simply bringing your knees to your chest and focusing on your core. Next, we'll do a plank. Start on all fours, shoulders over your wrists. Step your feet back and engage your glutes and thighs to keep your legs straight. Your body should form a straight line from your shoulders to your hips to your heels. Think about pushing the ground away from you and pulling your belly button up towards your spine to keep your back flat. Hold this position for 30 to 60 seconds. Another way to do this is on your forearms. Now for Supermans, we're going to lay stretched out on our belly with our hands above our head like Superman. Now there are 3 levels to this. First is lifting your opposite arm with your opposite leg. So that would be your right arm and your left leg as an example. And then switch to do your left arm and your right leg. And you could do that for 12 to 15 reps. And then level 2 would be going to just your upper body. Your hands are stretched out in front. And you're going to be lifting just your upper body. And you could do that for 12 to 15 reps. And then you could do just your lower body for 12 to 15 reps. Now for level 3, the full Superman, is you're going to be lifting both your arms and your legs at the same time, focusing on your lower back. So lifting all at once. And you could do that for about 12 to 15 reps. Now when you're done with that, just to stretch your lower back, lean back into baby pose. And that's it. Next is the burpee. Stand with your feet hip width apart. Place your hands down in front of your feet. Then jump your feet back to high plank position, keeping your hips up and in line with your shoulders and heels. Push yourself back up without arching your back as you jump your feet back to your hands. Stand and jump up. Repeat from the top for 10 or 15 reps. Now it's important to be creative when you're exercising outside of the gym. So other simple things that I like to do is exercise with my backpack while I'm walking. So that might mean doing a bunch of curls, and depending on how far I have to walk, I might get 50 or 75 of these. And I could switch that to doing triceps, and then I could switch that to doing shoulders. And obviously I'll do both sides so I get an even workout. But it's a good idea to pick about 3 of the exercises that we just did, or more if you're more comfortable, and do enough reps so that you get a slight burn, and that might only be 10 at this point. This is not the time to be judgmental based on what you used to be able to do, or what other people can do, or what you wish you could do. Remember, that's the type of mindset that stops people from ever getting off the couch and having success with their goals. So don't do that. Now in the next series, we're going to do more exercises at home and step it up with the use of resistance bands and a Swiss ball and light dumbbells. So I hope this has been helpful for you, and we'll see you in the next one. Good luck with this.